Welcome to the Midnight Storylines official. Subscribe for traumatic and romantic stories.
I sat across from Alex at the cozy cafe, the same place we'd shared countless memories. His eyes locked onto mine, and for a moment, I was back in time, reliving the love we once shared. His gaze was intense, like he was trying to convey 1,000 unspoken words. My heart skipped a beat as he whispered, "Mia, I never stopped loving you." I felt a pang of guilt, knowing I was about to shatter his world. I took a deep breath and began. "Alex, I need to tell you something." My voice trembled, but I continued. "I'm getting married." Alex's eyes widened, and his face paled. "What to who?" he asked, his voice laced with desperation. I hesitated, unsure if I should reveal the truth, but I knew I had to be honest. "To Victor, the businessman," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. Alex's expression changed, a mix of shock and anger. "The one who left your sister for you." He spat, his words dripping with disdain. I nodded, feeling a lump form in my throat. "Yes, he's the one. He loves me. And he has everything I need." Alex's eyes turned cold, his love turning to hurt and betrayal. "You can't be serious, Mia. You deserve so much better than someone who'd betray their own family." I stood up, my decision made. "I'm sorry. Alex, I have to go." As I walked out of the cafe, I didn't look back, knowing that if I did, I'd crumble. I didn't need to look back to know that Alex's heart was breaking, just like mine had. When I realized I had to let him go, I stood in front of the mirror of vision. In white, the diamond set Victor had given me sparkling on my skin. I felt like a princess, and for a moment I believed I was the queen of my own world. The smile on my face was genuine, but it faltered as the door opened and Victor walked in. He approached me from behind, his reflection visible in the
Mirror.
He wrapped his arms around me, pulling me close. "You look stunning," he whispered, his breath on my skin, sending shivers down my spine. "I'm so lucky to have you." As Victor led me out of the room, I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror. I barely recognized the woman staring back at me. She was confident, beautiful, and in control. The night was young, and I was ready to take on the world. The night was a blur of champagne toasts, laughter, and music. Victor's friends and family showered me with gifts and compliments, and I played the part of the happy bride to perfection. But as the evening wore on, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Victor was attentive and charming, but I caught him glancing at me with an intensity that made me uncomfortable. It was like he was studying me, trying to figure out a puzzle. As we made our way to our suite, Victor's grip on my hand tightened. "You're mine now, Mia," he whispered, his voice sending a shiver down my spine. "You belong to me." He wrapped his arms around me, pulling me close. "You look stunning," he whispered, his breath on my skin, sending shivers down my spine. "I'm so lucky to have you." As he pressed his lips to my forehead, I smiled, a sense of triumph washing over me. This love, this life, it was all mine. I had taken it, and I was going to keep it no matter what. I thought to myself, smiling, this is just the beginning. My life is about to change, and it's going to be beautiful. As Victor leaned in, I met him halfway, my lips touching his forehead, sealing our fate. Victor's lips moved to my ear, his voice sending shivers down my spine. "Tonight we'll celebrate," he whispered. "Just the two of us." I smiled, feeling a sense of excitement and nervousness. This was my wedding night, and I was ready to take on whatever
Came next.
I smiled, trying to brush off the unease. This was just nerves, I told myself. I was just getting married, after all. But as Victor led me into our suite and closed the door behind us, I felt a sense of unease wash over me. This was it. There was no going back now. Victor's eyes locked onto mine, and I saw something there that made my heart skip a beat. It was like a spark of madness, a glimmer of obsession, And then, he smiled. Victor's smile sent a shiver down my spine. It was a smile that said he knew a secret. A smile that made me wonder if I had just made a terrible mistake. He took a step closer, his eyes never leaving mine. "You look beautiful, Mia," he said, his voice low and husky. "But I think it's time to take off that dress. Don't you?" I felt a flutter in my chest as he reached out and touched the zipper on my dress. His fingers brushed against my skin, sending sparks flying through my body. I tried to push away the doubts, to focus on the excitement of the night ahead. And then I heard it, a faint whisper, almost imperceptible. "Mia, what have you done?" I pulled back, my heart racing. Victor's eyes narrowed, his face darkening. "What was that?" he growled. I shook my head, trying to clear the cobwebs. "Nothing," I said, forcing a laugh. "Just my imagination." But as Victor's eyes locked onto mine, I knew I wasn't imagining things. Something was off, and I was starting to realize that I might be in grave danger. Victor's grip on me tightened, his eyes flashing with anger. "You're not imagining things, Mia," he said, his voice low and menacing. "You're just starting to realize the truth." I tried to pull away, but he held me firm. "What truth?" I asked, my voice shaking. Victor's smile returned, sending a chill down my spine. "That you're mine now, Mia, body and soul, and I'll never let you go." I struggled against him, but he was too strong. "Let me go." "Victor," I demanded, trying to keep my fear in check. But Victor just laughed, his eyes glistening with a madness that made my blood run cold. "You'll never be free, Mia," he whispered, his lips brushing against my ear. "You'll be mine forever." As he pulled me closer, I knew I had to act fast. I remembered the words Alex had said to me just a few days ago. "If you ever need help, Mia, I'll be there, just call me." I managed to free one hand and reach for my phone, my fingers trembling as I dialed Alex's number. Victor's eyes widened as he realized what I was doing. "Alex, help me," whispered, trying to keep my voice down. Victor's face twisted in rage, and he lunged at me, trying to grab the phone. But it was too late. Alex's voice came through the line. "Strong and steady, Mia. I'm on my way. Hold on." The phone was ripped from my hand, and Victor's face loomed over me, his eyes blazing with fury. "You'll pay for this, Mia," he growled, and then everything went black. I woke up to the sound of sirens and the feeling of being lifted off the ground. I opened my eyes to find myself in Alex's arms, being carried out of the mansion. The police were everywhere, and Victor was being led away in handcuffs. "Alex," I whispered, my voice hoarse. He looked down at me, his eyes filled with relief. "I'm here, Mia. You're safe now." I tried to piece together what had happened, but my head was spinning. "Victor." "What?" Alex's expression hardened. "He's been arrested for his crimes." "Mia, you'll be safe now." As we reached the ambulance, the paramedics took over, checking my vitals and asking me questions. Alex refused to leave my side. Holding my hand tightly, I looked up at him, my heart still reeling from the events. "How did you?" Alex smiled, his eyes warm. "I was waiting outside the mansion, keeping an eye on you. When I heard you call for help, I knew I had to act fast." The paramedics helped me into the ambulance, and Alex climbed in beside me. As we drove away from the mansion, I felt a sense of freedom I hadn't felt in years. "It's over, Mia," Alex said, squeezing my hand. "You're safe now." I smiled, feeling a sense of peace wash over me. "It's just beginning," I whispered, looking up at Alex. He smiled back, his eyes sparkling with promise. As the days went by, the truth began to unravel. Victor's past was darker than anyone had imagined, and Mia had been right to suspect him. He had been involved in some shady dealings, and his business partner, Mia's sister, had discovered the truth. Victor had killed her, making it look like an accident. Mia had been investigating Victor, trying to gather evidence to bring him down. But he was too clever, and she knew she needed a plan to trap him. That's when she came up with the idea to pretend to marry him, to get him to confess to his crimes. Alex had been helping her, secretly working with the police to gather evidence. When Mia called him for help, he knew it was time to put the plan into action. Victor, realizing he'd been played, broke down in custody, confessing to everything. He admitted to killing Mia's sister, and the police found evidence linking him to other crimes. With Victor behind bars, Mia was finally free. She and Alex sat together, holding hands, looking out at the city. "It's over," Alex said, smiling. "You can finally move on." Mia smiled back, feeling a sense of peace. "I never really loved him, you know. I was just using him to get justice for my sister." Alex squeezed her hand. "I know, and I'm glad you did. If you hadn't, we might never have gotten a second chance." Mia's eyes met Alex's, and she knew she was home. "I think it was always meant to be us." Alex leaned in, his lips brushing against hers. "Me too, Mia, me too." As the sun set, Mia and Alex shared a kiss, the city lights twinkling around them.
If you are here, so please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe my channel. Thank you.